we blindly go into a show without hearing the music, so I guess we're back.
I do hear you though, Mo.
I know I hear you, but I don't hear the music.
No.
But that's okay.
Eagle, can you sing?
Ave Maria.
Thank you, Eagle.
You
better not
could have
do-
said no. You could have just said no.
You better not. You better not do that at your wedding next spring, eh? Like
Don't
Oh,
worry,
yeah.
Mo. You're not going to be MC because we know you're bad with names.
Hey, Mo killed it at my wedding, man. To be
That's
real.
1 out of 2.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, the other one, which actually was 8 years ago yesterday.
Yeah.
That was the infamous night. It was a good time.
Who got married?
Our leader, our Lord and Savior.
Whose parents are whose though?
Yeah, well, that was my fault. Rob mixed up the order.
Okay, so very quickly, because I have another topic to start on today, but I agree that them coming in the wrong order, because was it Audrey's parents came out first
Audrey's parents came out first.
when it was supposed to be Rob's parents?
Yeah.
But when you saw Audrey's parents come through the door, the next people you announced was Audrey's parents.
No, I said let's probably give them a proper welcome, and then open the door. I was like, no, what's going on here? I blame Rob. I saw the script right as proof that Rob put the order in the wrong, and we went over the night before on
Yeah.
top of that. Anyway, it was a great night though. I
That was
have,
good.
I have a picture of you guys, which is in my wallpaper for you piece, I think, and maybe for you Eagle as well, where it's you two guys.
Oh, yeah, we're waltzing.
Oh, no, it's you two guys, Rob White and I. At
Oh, when we were
2:45.
wasted. Yeah, I remember that one.
Completely
Yeah.
wasted. It was a great picture. Like Pease looked like a cartoon, like wasted character. It was
Yeah.
amazing. It was amazing.
I had to carry him down the stairs, which was not
It was
easy.
him and Natalia carrying me down the stairs. And at the time I was 260 pounds.
And
So
then at one point, I'm at a red light. I have to turn left. The guy in front of me is a little bit slow to react to the green.
Yeah.
And Pease out of nowhere is like, I'll fight him if you want.
hey man,
And I was like, no, just stay in the car, Pease.
Listen, bro.
Everything's fine.
listen,
Get
man,
home.
I don't have friends. I have family. You know.
Let's get home, please.
You guys hear about this Titanic submersible?
Yeah, it's awful. Awful news.
Like, so people went down to the crash site of the most notorious aquatic graveyard in the world.
Yes.
Why? What's the compelling thing? I don't get it.
I mean, I read bits and pieces. I think the organizer is a real he's a real adventure type of guy. Like he flew over Russia during the conflict.
That's Hamish.
Yeah,
the
like
rich
he,
dude,
He
right?
flew over the Russian like no zone pretty much. Don't go into this territory.
Hamish Harding. That's it.
Yeah, and he's one of those like risk guys, and so
I mean, sure, but
Okay, so here's my thoughts on this entire thing. The actual
well, okay. Our first thought is, first of all, we hope they're okay, and
Yes,
hope by the
we
time the show
pray.
comes out, we found them, and
yes,
right now the
right.
window's shrinking, right? But like,
Yeah, it's
look,
like
let's
tomorrow.
hope for the best. We're still in a window where it's, although not likely, possible that they're still alive.
So yes, obviously.
Yes, but I want to
Yeah.
state it because we're putting out a recording that's going to exist for the rest of the time. So,
If you're first off, it costs $250,000 to take this trip.
yeah,
I'd like to think if you have $250,000 to spend on a 4-hour excursion, that you have enough brain cells to realize it's a bad idea to take that trip.
and also you figured they'd spring for the real like PS5 remote and not the Logitech one.
Okay,
Yeah.
also, you can put a GPS tracker on a shark and find out where they are in the ocean at any point in time.
By the way, sharks
Why does
travel.
this submersible not have one of like a fucking air tag on it? Jesus Christ.
They didn't get the touring package.
Yeah, they apparently this like capsule that they took was not the best of the best. Like it was very like
No, there was like a whistleblower they tried to fire years ago, and he's like, "Yo, it's not safe," and they're like, "No, shut up, it's safe," and he's like, "Well, no, it's not safe."
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Honestly, again, we hope they're okay, and we're not making light of
No,
their
no.
experience. We're making light of the fact that like it's just an absolutely insane story. And again, like they modified a cheap Bluetooth controller that you can get on Amazon for $100. That doesn't seem like a fair use of the money that you're charging when you're charging $250,000, as Eagle said, for 4 hours at a time.
Yes, it's a bit of it's a very awful situation.
I will say the one thing I did think of right away, which did make me feel a little bit bad, was I wonder if Elon's going to bring another submarine that doesn't fit.
Hey-oh.
Oh boy.
No, he's
But-
too busy making fun of slurs on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elon.
And banning Moira Mills.
Our boy. Okay, just a quick couple of house cleaning things here to do. Please check your rosters to make sure you're 5 games eligible. Please do that. It's gonna be a headache for all of us.
Our pennies clip ended up on our Instagram feed.
Yeah.
Some people clearly didn't know this week. Now they've learned.
Yes, they've learned the hard way. Numbers, please have them properly. And also a quick thing to look at, too, guys, that if you realize that, hey, player X does not have enough games, but he or she's played whatever amount of games, please verify with the league about what's going on. Eags, injury, doctor's notes. I know that's going to start popping up some more. Is there anything we need to clarify to the listeners and viewers who need to
Read the rule book? Question mark. That's
Well, we're getting the lamest terms here, if we can.
If you're hurt, send us an email. We'll tell you what you need to do.
In due time, do it as soon as you can. Pretty much, though. All right. And last but not least, please check the playoff schedule. Dates are locked in. Playoffs begin mid-July. I think July 17th is the first window. So please check the dates for when your division will be playing. Let's dive into it. Mystery peasy as we go along here. Co-Ed 2, and we'll start with Co-Ed 2, Co-Ed 3. Okay, so look at the top 4 for Co-Ed 2 right now. You got IG Team at 13 points, Vultures at 12, Big 6 at 11, Fit Squad at 10, Kiss My Hands on at 10. I mean, 3 points separates first from fifth. There's a lot of moving parts here, Peas. Are you comfortable to say that this is going to be the same 5 when we finish off the regular season? In this order?
So I took some big losses to Vultures and Pick 6 this season. I will say Pick 6's defense can be had. It was just not the day for me to have them, but there are they make a lot of mistakes. They make a lot of big plays, but they sort of like are extremely high risk reward.
Right.
And then Vultures, on the other hand, that's about as impressive as I can see. Like, they're missing Rochelle Valliere, who we're hoping has a speedy recovery, and we hope it's not serious. She's still awaiting her results.
Yeah.
But she's missing, and nonetheless, like, that defense is really good. Ben McMahon doesn't often play defense for the Vultures men's team when he's throwing, but him anchoring that defense at the 3 and allowing like guys like James Drysdale to roam, and then he can just attack and just take away concepts where he doesn't have to play deep, and he can just literally, like, they can drop 2, play 2 short, and then he just goes after your concept. He just tries to find what's available, and he reads it like a quarterback. And James Drysdale looks good at quarterback. He's got exceptional touch for someone who's not a natural thrower of the football. It's a good team, top to bottom.
And Pick Six will play Vultures the last week of the season.
Yeah, I think Kiss My Hands On will end up ahead of Fit Squad.
Yeah, I think so.
Fit Squad, is it 3 losses in a row now?
Yeah, they did beat Kiss My Hands On mid-season, so they do have the tiebreak if they were to end up with
I don't like, but they also Kiss My Hands On has 2 games in hand with the same amount of points,
which they make up the run over here of games played over here. By the way, for Vultures, good news, bad news. Like you mentioned, Rochelle Valliere, bad news, but the good news is that their next game's not till July 9th. So in 3
depending
weeks,
what the injury is, though. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe the injury, if it's hopefully minimal, it heals up, that she can get that last 2-game run in before playoffs begin. That could be good news for her.
It just that takes a team that's already really good to absolutely championship contender.
Do they top IG Team in your books as being the favorite?
I think they're a more complete team than IG Team. I think at this point, Jeansley Alexis is a more seasoned quarterback. And I told you, like, we had this conversation on the show, was it winter, right?
Yeah.
I said, honestly, he's getting really good really fast.
Yeah.
And like, that's the evidence, right? Like,
yeah.
Clearly he has been. I saw it happen just again, I had played against him in the fall and then I saw him play in the winter, and I said, he's already not the same guy. And now he's just taken another step. And then I think that's, so IG Team have that one advantage, but I think that Vultures are a more complete team. James Drysdale, Phil Roberts, Rachel, if she's there. It's a solid team across the board. There's Jimmy McRae, who's really good too. Manuel Leroy. Like, there's not a weakness on anywhere across the board.
No, I think if you were to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I would go IG Team, Vultures, Kiss My End Zone, Pick Six, and Fit Squad. I've seen Fit Squad play a couple of times. I think we spoke about it, you and I, Peas, a while ago. I think there's something missing from that team.
Which one?
For Fit Squad, there's something that's missing from their chemistry.
When we played them, Will Brouard was the thing that was missing because he wasn't there.
Yeah.
But without giving away the book on them, there's a specific way that they play defense, which can allow a quarterback to capitalize.
Right.
And I kind of agree. I don't know what they can do to correct it. I just think that they understand what their roster build is, and in order to compensate for that, they score a lot of points.
Right.
And if they're not going to score a lot of points, they're going to struggle because they're not going to get stops. It's just not. It's not really what they're out there to do.
No, and the thing is now for Fit Squad is that they're now off until I believe July 4th. So it's 3-week break here. But don't look too far down the road here. But you look at a team like Rookies and Deep Balls, and Deep Balls did beat Fit Squad earlier this season. They could catch and jump them, and then they play in their week 10 game that they have left. Fit Squad.
I think Fit Squad in 5-5.
Yeah,
because Big Six and Easy Fun are hard games.
And
for
Big
them.
Six is the last game for them.
Yeah.
Right. So that's gonna be tricky for them. And you're right. They might fall and become a middle tier team in the playoff standings that they'll have.
I think Easy Fun's defense will make it so that they
won't be
can't just
fun.
run up the score. And Big Six, again, like if Will Brouillard shows up and if he plays a perfect game, great. But they're trying to create turnovers.
Right.
And so they take chances, and I think that can be a trap for them. I'm not picking them to win the next 2 games.
No, the idea of them winning the next 2 games will not be easy for them, and it's gonna be fascinating to see how that plays out.
But it's interesting because they're both really good
Yeah.
and matchup dependent at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I just think that there are some folks who have the book on them, and they struggle against those teams.
Right. And I think for Fit Squad,
But they beat Kismanzon, who were historically been one of the teams who has their number.
right. And Kismanzo, a win's a win, fair and square, but they were missing some guys, so I'll be curious to see how they would face against
But that's-
much more.
Listen, that's a recreation league in the summer, man.
Yeah.
There's gonna be people missing in the playoffs. There'll be people missing in the finals because, you know what? If someone's booked a 2-week trip in the finals, they booked a trip. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Okay, looking at Co-Ed 3 over here with the Rookies and how that played out for them. Rookies block party for,
Well, wait, you said Co-Ed 3. They're Co-Ed 2.
Co-Ed 2, sorry about that. I apologize.
No, it's all good. I gotta make sure I'm on the right tab.
The heat is getting to my mind here. Okay, so Rookies take out block party 24-12. That was played on Tuesday. In the bigger scheme of things here, from Iggy's question here, what does this mean for the playoff standings now? Block parties on the
Again,
outside.
you don't need to specify who's asking the question.
Well, I'll
though.
make sure people know that it's not my question, your question, but
in case I'm going to make fun of the question.
it's Iggy that may give the question. So block party now is in the 11th spot at 2-4-1. They're 1 point behind, never too late. And for the Rookies, they're at 4 wins. We think that'll be more than enough to get into the playoffs with a minimum of 4 wins going forward.
Yeah, 4 wins looks like it's going to be the mark. Although, if you look at the bottom of the standings, Block Party is the only one I think that has a chance logistically to get to 3.
Yeah.
And their path isn't particularly easy. They have Beeftons, Deep Balls, and Easy Fun ahead.
Beatons will beat.
Maybe, man. It's a game where it's just ugly, right? Like, what are we going to get? 4 touchdowns combined? 5 touchdowns combined?
Yeah.
At that point, anything can happen, right?
Right.
I would tend to agree, but it's not a guarantee, right?
No, actually, I'll get that game in Laval next week. But I think that for where we stand right now with the overall standings in Co-Ed 2, excuse me, I think Block Party is going to have a tough road to try and get back to that picture because Easy Fun, they're going to be decent. Plenty of Fish is not too bad. Never Too Late team is not too bad.
Yeah.
But if they're going to get into that equation, they got to beat Beeftons. If they beat Beeftons, it really puts pressure on the teams above
I think
them.
if they beat Beeftons, they have a shot. If they
Yeah.
lose that game, then the playoff teams are decided.
Yeah.
And then it's just about order.
It's a question of who's going to finish where at that point, though. But you wonder, though, right? That lower half of that division rankings, of course, it is a different playoff format. You look at seeds 7, 8, 9, Deep Balls, Easy Fun, Plenty of Fish, Never Too Late team. I'm not going to discount these teams in the playoffs. I think they can pull off an upset on these teams.
Yeah, I think they're all teams with flaws.
Yeah.
And if those teams have a hot game, they can upset anyone. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like we've seen it. We've seen some surprising wins from these teams as well, right? So-
Right. No, and I just think that in this case that we're in for this division, there is, I kept a couple of these games in Quad 3, Quad 2. There's a little bit more unpredictability with some of the teams in this division. And I just think that it'll be fascinating to see how this plays out and how whoever plays the higher seed in that opening round, again, like I said, I think we'll have an upset along the way. And it can come from one of these 4 teams that can really shake the playoff rankings going towards the playoffs in mid-July.
Yeah.
All right, so when you look at it right now, from Michael Scott's thoughts. And
Wait, did we answer Iggy's question?
Yeah, I think we did. I think we answered Iggy's questions. I think we did. I hope we did.
I don't even remember what the question was.
It's the rookies. Well, it's more the rookies because they lost that game, right? Because
Can the rookies?
yeah, it
Well, what was the question? Can the rookies what?
was a long question. Hold on here.
Just give me the gist of it.
Yeah, hold on here. We get it back.
What a surprise! Iggy was long-winded.
Yeah, it's like a paragraph long. Okay, recapping the rookies block party game. What does it mean for the final playoff spots?
We answered that part of it.
Yeah, the rookies started 0-4 with a brutal schedule. Now rattle off 3, perhaps 4 if they beat block party, which was it wins in a row. Can they create havoc as a middle seed in the playoffs and go on a Cinderella run?
So they're not bad. They're not bad at all. I saw a bit of their game on Tuesday. No, I didn't. Sorry, I was at everything on Monday. I'm thinking of another game. But there's issues with the rookies. They're not going to score a ton. Cedric Morales makes mistakes. But I like their general level of athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're not going to, if you're going to play a quarterback who doesn't execute, or if you're going to play against a quarterback that doesn't have a competent scheme, they're a team that's going to win games.
Right.
Basically, like they ignore the fact that they are rookies, ignore the fact that the team name is rookies, ignore the fact that they're essentially all introductory level ratings except for Lance Gijal and Cedric Morales.
Yeah.
If you take them lightly, you're going to lose that game.
Right.
Plain and simple.
Looking at the Corvette, Michael Scott thoughts, Tigres and Kamikaze, right? They're all in the final 4 last spots of the playoff window.
Yeah.
Are you confident that all 4 will be in the playoffs, or
Well, are we sure that they have do Kamikaze and Catching W's have a game against each other so far?
I believe they do. Do they not? Eags?
Let us find out.
So Kamikaze beat Catching W's.
Yes. Okay, so the tiebreaker goes to Kamikaze. So
Which is why they're there. Okay, great.
And then
I just want to double check because it doesn't always do that.
and catching W's, like right now, they might have to catch Tigres to get that last spot in the playoffs.
And Catching W's is having a tough time putting up points.
Yeah.
So when you see 7 games through the season, not even 100 points scored, it's pretty remarkable that they've won as many games as they have, considering that. That said, they do have free agents this week who have been worse.
But free agents are still in the playoff race, though. They win. They're back
Yeah.
in that conversation, though.
Yeah, they're averaging 11 points a game. Scored.
They're scoring points.
Nope. They aren't. Eagle, are you scoring points?
Nope.
There we go. And like, it's not a cheap shot. I looked up and I was like, wow, I was talking a lot of shit about 98 points for, but 77 through 7 games that's tough. That's a rough season.
11 points, man. That's like a crazy combination in football.
What?
11 points.
Well, I mean, they're not actually
I
scoring.
know,
11 points in a
but I'm
game.
saying though, if we did the average, it's a crazy combination.
What's the
right?
median of points that you've scored?
You do.
Yes.
Okay.
Just look at your 3.5 game and tell me what the score was.
It'll probably be 6, if I'm being honest with you. If I
No,
actually
you
want to look at
guys
the median.
scored.
If you
You
do it
guys-
properly, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, because actually, it's probably going to be somewhat easy to figure out here. Let's just see. We have 8, we have 6, we have 0, we have 6, we have 6, and we have 32. Yep, so it would be 6. 6 is our median.
It wasn't a serious question.
But that's the correct answer, though.
Anyway, we'll see what happens with that last spot, though. But Again, like I said, this I think all of them can hold on to their spots. Catch the W's, I think, are in tough. Dream Killers, I don't think so. Free agents, I'm sorry, Eags, I don't think that's going to happen for you this year.
You say that. We have Catching W's and Dream Killers on our schedule, which are also in the bottom fighting for a spot
Okay,
up.
so you win those 2 games, you get in the playoffs.
It's possible.
It'll be tough because at that point, I think Kamikaze will beat you. Oh no, wait,
Yeah, they beat us week 1.
they beat you week 1, yeah. But I think Kamikaze are winning this week, so then they're ahead of you with the tiebreak. So you have to hope for a multi-team tiebreak and that everyone else starts really allowing points.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. It's not mathematically eliminated, but mathematically adjacent. I do want to talk really quickly about the top of the rankings real quick because we've talked a little bit about Fast and Furious 3, but 1 and Niners, man. They've really come a long way. Guys like Brandon Bagley aren't as well known in FPF, but that dude can play.
Chaz
Presser, obviously. Luca Canville. These are guys we talked about. Alex Blais. But getting some production from Mika Benoit, Isabella Lamosa also. And then, defensively, you see Bagley with 11 receptions, Kevin Daniel with 5 receptions. Like, they're doing all things well. It's a good team. It's a very different 1 and Niners than the team we've recognized from years and years past.
Yeah, they're a different team. I scored kept their game against Dream Killers yesterday in Brossard. And Chad said it wasn't our best game. Even Alex Blais said it wasn't our best game. And I'm like, dude, you guys won 30-12, man. I don't know what else you can do, right, to say this wasn't your best game. But they do have some good players on this team, and they do have a chance to make a run. They're 7-1-1, I believe now. But like Dream Killers, unfortunately, they're not a really good team. They lack the panache, the marauding ability to really open up the field here.
Mm-hmm.
Could they catch up to Fast and Not Furious 3? Probably not. But if they do play each other in the playoffs at some point, they got to figure out how to just contain some of the big hitters on Fast and Not Furious 3.
The other thing is Charles Presser needs to chill. He needs to not run around so much. He has more time than he thinks.
Yeah.
He's constantly throwing a run.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Dude, you're a phenomenal athlete. It's fine. But it's not necessary to use it all the time. Sometimes you just need to sit in the pocket and deliver a strike.
Right. And let's not forget, Dream Team Thunder Buddies are chasing them. They're not far off, right? I mean, Fast and Furious 3 probably in the pole position to be the number 1 seed, but 1 and Niners are not a clinch yet for number 2. They could drop to 4 when the dust settles for the playoff seasons moving forward. All right, on to women's. So I scored cap X and X against Blue Thunder. Fantastic game. X and X winning pretty much with 4 plays left, keeping the playoff hopes alive. Because of that win, they're now in the playoff spot, going towards their final few weeks of the season. They have 2 more games left. They're 1-6-1. Peas, with that win over Blue Thunder, did they save their season and now a chance to get themselves in the tournament in a few weeks from now?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Right? Like, just statistically, very clearly, yes. And Blue Thunder was a team you were high on.
I am, and they had a really dud of a game. They were up 16-8. They were controlling the game, and they had some bad play calling, I found, especially in the last play of the game. Sorry to cut you off, Peas.
No, I set you up to talk.
Yeah. So
it wasn't cutting me off. We just were doing a thing called radio.
Right. So they were at midfield with 1 play left. You figured to throw a Hail Mary in the end zone.
Yeah.
And, in the women's game, you can do like shovel passes, right? Short shovel passes. You have more bunch formations. And they went with the bunch formation, and they did a 5-yard shovel pass to Chloe Simard, who they thought might be able to run through the defense and get the touchdown. She got by 1 player, then got tackled right away for like maybe 8 yards in total. And I just thought that was not the call. You should have gone the end zone, test out the chances. You're in the end zone. What happens? Either it's picked off, incomplete, or touchdown.
Yeah, I also happened to catch 2 deep strikes from Maya DeFazio to Mia Abelard.
Yeah.
And Mia Abelard's really good, man.
She's very good.
Like her ability to catch the ball in stride, like credit to Maya for putting it like where it had to be.
Yeah.
But the concentration to sort of be able to, I think it was on a corner route, if I'm not mistaken. She caught it for like full extension, kept running, didn't break stride at all. Great concentration, beautiful catch. I was really impressed.
Yeah,
I thought that Blue Thunder would just outscore him, but
no, they couldn't get going. Like Gino Tafaz had a good call on defense. Like he took away some of the big plays for them, and
I don't know who that is.
Oh yes, I forgot about it. But Abelard was a problem for the Blue Thunder defense. They just didn't. They didn't
the
adjust.
size advantage because
Yeah.
Blue Thunder are not the tallest team.
No, but they have the speed, but they just didn't
But
have the rates.
okay, but Maya Avellard might have been the fastest player in the field
She is the fast player.
because her strides are, and like it doesn't even look hard for her to move that quickly.
No.
Her strides are long, and she again great body control, and the size advantage was apparent.
Yeah, and I thought Juliette Beauvais had a bad game, some bad reads. Again, it's a game that Blue Thunder's going to look back and say, we should have won this game, and we probably would have been somewhere in the middle ranks of the division right now, looking at what's left for their season. But I just thought it was a missed chance for them to be a middle pack team, jump over Red Nation for what would have been at least the number 6 spot, but they would have jumped Petit Miettes because they beat them this year, so they could have got as high as 5, if not 4, and they would have been in that competition for the 3 spot. But now they're probably trying to stave off X and X for the 7th seed, going towards the final few weeks of the regular season.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's it does set up the path, right? So
Yeah.
it's just a question of how that all plays out. But I didn't think of it in the moment, but it seems to be like a cornerstone game that we witnessed last night.
It could be a seminal moment. Yeah, it could be. For X and X, but look, in X and X, they tied Red Nation and Laval. Could have won that game. Like, I mean, they've been competitive, but it's that, when you bring in Amaya DeFazio, as young as she is as a quarterback, learn to play the game and being confident in her throws and seeing what's out there from her reads. I mean, she made some throws that were tight windows. Like, okay, that's pretty impressive. But then she made some throws like, okay, well, she still has to get more reps.
Yeah,
and
it's
experience.
the youth and I don't know her background in terms of quarterbacking,
Yeah.
but like, she doesn't look necessarily like a natural passer in terms of footwork and all that. So I'm sure that'll get better with time too.
Right.
So-
Okay, so Wildcats, they're running away with women's too right now. They're going to be your number 1 seed probably.
I like Supernova a lot though, man.
But can they hold on to that spot though? Because
I think so, but I think Supernova play these annoying, gritty games, like kind of they're like the Miami Heat of the division. Like they're just unkillable zombies who stick around in the game
Yeah.
and make life difficult. So I think Wildcats have it. I like Wildcats going back last season.
Yeah.
But
Who's the Nuggets of their division then?
Wildcats.
No. He just said they're the Heat.
No, you
No, I
said
said
Supernova.
Supernova.
Supernova's the
Oh,
Heats.
Supernova's the- yeah,
Wildcats
okay.
are.
well, no, it would be Sub-Zero because it would be the other conference.
Right. Exactly.
So I make Sarah Parker, Nikola Jokic.
No, Jokic should be Lawrence Papillon.
Fair.
Yeah, Jamal Murray would be Sarah Parker.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I go
Sure. I mean, they're completely different sports. I don't know how you're comparing
with.
them.
That's what it
But
is.
Lawrence Pomprian does look like she likes horses, I guess. So
Perhaps.
There we go.
Yeah, and a great receiver that she is. But
Absolutely.
I think for Supernova, you're confident. I think they might get a run for number 2 because Wolfpack, the Petit Miette are coming on strong of late. They've been playing better than where they were early in the season. Wolfpack, I'm not going to discredit them though. They have a bit of they have this underdog mentality that they play well with, and they could. I'm not saying they're going to run it, but they could upset one of these teams come up in their
Who's this,
schedule. Wolfpack.
Wolfpack.
Yeah.
Like they
Their schedule's not easy though. They got
No,
Wildcats and they got WOS coming up, which is not easy.
that's what I was reacting to
Yeah.
in real time. But like, 2 of the last 3 games that looked really good. They had a dud against the Pittsimiet. I thought that they let Pittsimiet off the hook there.
Yeah, I was there for that game.
And it just feels like, don't they feel like they might do that in like round 1? Just have a game where they don't show up.
Yeah, and let a team hang around, like what Blue Thunder did with X and X, right? Like you don't want that to happen, and then bam, they hit you in a quick score, and then you're down, and you're literally left with plays, and you can't really do your offense because of what's required.
And we know what they are. Like Maryse
Yeah.
Paquette and Marie Paradis are both offensively, defensively, they're the stars.
Yeah,
Right, and it's they come in there and they dare you to stop them, even though you know what they're trying to do.
right. I just think unfortunately, they're not at that level yet. They're sort of in between.
They beat Supernova this week, right?
Yes, but the thing is though is that see what makes them relevant is their pass rushing. They have a really good pass rusher on defense that has played really well for them this season. In terms of what she's done overall, and that is Maria Manseri. She's a really good pass rusher, and she is really like when they played Le Petit Miette 2 weeks ago. she made things difficult for MVG, and now for this situation, if she can be a menace on both sides of the football, being a pass catcher and being a pass rusher, that just gives them an X factor. But I just think that they're just a bit inconsistent in how they are, because they're slow out of the gates, and then when they turn it on, it's too little too late. And that's where I think they have to be a little bit more better and correct that issue that they have.
We saw Athena Ryan struggle a little bit in the FPF regular rules, right? So when she played co-ed, even though it's four downs to 10 yards, if she struggled on first and second down, she had a hard time.
Right.
With the women's rules, given that she's not a big arm quarterback and that when she does throw deep, it tends to float, do you think this is a worse setup for her?
I think the tight.
Like, do you think she's actually better at co-ed than she's at?
No, I think she's good as a women's quarterback. I just think that she overcooks her passes sometimes, and then
because again,
drops.
I mean, speaking from experience, I'm someone who doesn't have a big arm, right? And so when I'm throwing deep, I have to throw early and with touch so that I'm throwing to a spot where I'm assuming my player will be at, right? So she's kind of doing the same thing, and it's difficult. It's really hard to do.
Yeah, and I think she has to get it's like a pitcher, right? Throw some strikes. It can be ground balls, but
that's the thing is she does that. What she does best is passing in rhythm, and I talked about that on last season's show. The shows did with Iggy. But where she struggles is again when she gets behind on downs, and I feel like the women's division is harder because you got to get the half field.
Yeah,
it's not just hitting somebody on a hook and maybe they turn and instead of having a 4-yard gain, you have an 8-yard gain.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it's 4th and 2.
Right.
That happens. You still have to get the half field on 4th down.
Yeah, and I just think that if they can get going early, it will help their confidence. I think that will keep them relevant. But if they get that pass rush, that's a game changer for them because that pass rusher can really take away yards and put teams at a disadvantage going forward. Quickly here, P's for Division I women's. I mean, there's not much to really say right now. We know who the two best teams are, and there's not much right now until we have these two teams, perhaps, no disrespect to The Rock, playing each other in the finals.
Yeah, I mean, what do you want to say?
There's nothing to say, really.
The two best teams are there. Yeah. It feels like all those seasons of Montreal's finest and D-Boys back in the day in Division I, where we just sort of knew those two teams were at the top of the standings.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we have. And even at that, there's really a top one. We have a super team, and then we have a really good team, and then we have a team that's not quite on pace.
No, if they were in the other division, they'd be one of the better teams for sure.
They would be the best team.
Yeah.
By a little bit of a margin. Sub-Zero, I don't think are losing a game.
No, we can pencil them in for August 6th.
The fact that their backup quarterback is when she's playing is the best quarterback in the division.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Already have Sarah Parker to contend with, who is, I mean, at this point, despite her young age, already reached legendary status, right? Kind of like Dan Lazara, right? Where to be anointed as that good, despite the fact that is Dan even 30 at this point?
Dan is 28.
That's what I'm saying. So
I think he's 27.
She kind of reminds she's that path for me, where it's someone who started recently, who's playing still as a young woman, and is already seen as this absolute tidal wave. And then, by the way, Maud Lacasse is also incredible.
Yes.
And she's the backup on this team for when Sarah Parker's not available because of tournaments and whatever. And the fact that they have Jessica Bostampin, Jasmine Farmer, Laurence Pompouin, Lorraine Beauchamp's played a couple of games. They have Marie-Lou Bellan on the roster who can't play because I believe she's still recovering from injury.
Yeah.
And that's just a flex. To just be she could even be out here if we wanted
that's
it.
That's a fantasy football team right there.
It's Sarah Cormier, Clément Journeau, Virginie Awumena. It's nonsense. And I understand that not all of them are there every game. And that's the way the team was built. But it's man, your second and third strings are just ridiculous talent.
If there was a B team, they'd probably be the second place team in that division.
Yeah. If they split the team in two, Maud quarterbacking one and Sarah quarterbacking the other, then those are the two best teams in the division.
Yeah. On to Division C. So the game changers have been really picking it up of late. They're 6-3. The last two games, they took out KMI. They took out Diamond Bougie, which I score cap, which ended Diamond Bougie's run for undefeated streak. Do you like their chance to win Div C, and with them now off for a month at 9 games played, does that hurt their momentum going towards the final 4 weeks of the season?
I mean, it's interesting because it's a team where we saw the roster and we said they're okay, like they'll be fine. I don't know how Jim Calazarus has 2 games played for them when he's on Backyard Bullies.
Well, he played with them week 1, I believe, week 2, and he got his release.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he got his release.
But yeah, so I'm gonna say something though about Anton Sakis.
Say the last name properly, please.
Sakic.
Thank you.
Wait, is this a clip? Do I need to reset? No, it's not a clip. Okay, cool. A show about a show. What's a clip, Mo?
What's a clip?
What's a clip?
Clip.
So
We have that in the script.
We have a clip.
what's a clip? Anton Sakis came into the league in Division 5 and dominated, which, to be fair, they didn't know anything about the league, know anything really about flag football. They learned on the fly, and just through sheer athleticism, you know, they won a championship, undefeated run through championship,
Justin
right?
Filitro, Terrence Dobson.
Yeah,
those guys.
great team.
Alfie Mazel still there.
Who's still on the team.
Yeah.
But obviously the story from that whole season was, who's this guy Anton Sakis, right?
Yeah.
One of the best and most gifted deep ball throwers in all of FPF.
Yeah.
Not because, like, I understand there are guys with bigger arms, although his arm is probably above average. His touch on deep passes is incredible.
Yeah.
And when he came back, it kind of felt a little bit like, oh, has he plateaued? I think it took him a second to really just get back into the field of FPF, and now the dudes looked excellent. Like, those are
Right.
two really good defenses he played against.
Yeah, they really held their own because what happened was Anton had a really bad first half against Don Bougie. He had a really bad first half against them where he threw 2 INTs. Don Bougie was controlling the game. They were about to run him off. But then, funny enough, Anton went as a pass rusher, and he sacked. I don't know why Eagle's laughing for.
No reason.
No reason, Eagle. I know what's going on there, Eagle. I saw you change. Change it back.
No, it was a joke for Eagles, so it'll be fine.
Anyway, yeah, Sakis went as pass rusher. He had 2 sacks, 1 bad ball against Jules Rosenblatt, and Jules did not get going. Like, he just lost his rhythm and he lost his confidence. And
that's another thing. Anton's a better athlete than he gets credit for, because he is mostly a pocket passer.
yeah,
But the dude can move.
yeah. And not only that, like, I think in Don Bougie, they also had a lot of drop balls. Like, Fitzgerald just had a terrible game. He had 4 drop balls. Didn't play well. Fix Boutte was good, but I mean, you know, he had a drop ball in the end zone on a 4th down play.
Yeah.
You know, it literally from their own 10, they went for it. They bombed it down the left sideline. He caught it, dropped in the end zone, which would have been 6. You flip that 12-point swing going in favor of game changers. But I think now, with a month off here, Peas, I do like the chances at 6-3. I think they're a decent team.
I think there's sort of a ceiling on their ability, because I do think overall they're missing a bit of speed. I love the size on, like, Ludwig Janjani, Alvi Mazel, Louis Paquette. Like, these are really good physical, like, possession receivers.
Yeah.
And they fit perfectly with the way Sakis plays, because, again, he doesn't need the largest window. You don't need to blow by your guy. He's going to be able to place the ball perfectly, right?
Yeah.
I just think that at some point, yes, they beat Diamond Bougie. Yes, they beat Kiss My In-Laws. How many times out of 10 do they do that? Probably 4, 5 out of 10. You know? And you can't go into playoffs expecting to win every coin flip.
No, but we said this division is so unpredictable right now.
Yeah.
Like,
it's wild.
It's such a flavor of the week type of division, right? This week it's game changers, but next week it could be Sharks. It could be Kiss Manzone. It was commissioned 2 weeks ago for you and I.
Yeah.
And now those teams are kind of floundering between 7, 8, 9, and 10, going towards the final 3, 4 weeks.
It just there's very little separation, you know, from top to bottom.
And keep an eye on Bible Study and Bissett and Seppo, because they both have 5 games played. So they can make a run here and cash in on the 2, if not 3 games and handle certain teams.
Bible Study haven't lost a game either.
Yeah, and they can end up being 7 wins by the time they hit their last week of games that they have in mid-July. So something to watch out for with that division. But when we look at the playoff analysis right now for what we have left for the bottom half of the division here, right now infantry's sputtering. It's unfortunate that they're sputtering right now. You guys, unfortunately, 2-5, but maybe can make a run. LBB had a tough loss, an ugly loss that they suffered as well on Tuesday in Brossard. Right now, Pease, what do you think? Taking away your view of where Hot Sauce Sports is as you speak from an objective standpoint, how does this play out for the teams on the outside looking in?
Can I jump in for a second here? The teams that are from 12 to 20 are all tied at 6 points.
That's crazy.
So at this point, if any of the teams 21 to 23 at 4 points get one more win, they join that amalgamation of tiebreak disasters or nightmares that could happen depending on what it ends up with.
Your migraine headache.
Yeah, exactly. So this could go in any direction, and all it takes is one win to get yourself back in the conversation.
It's like a deck of cards. You take away that card, it just collapses the whole thing.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And it's almost like Jenga, to use your favorite. I remember your wife and Brent Bakken having a Jenga battle at your place years ago.
Yeah, well, we took that. The reason we no longer do press conferences was because I turned it into a game show
Yeah.
where in order to ask a question, you need to put the block without safely. So
That's
then
right.
Rob decided no more press conferences.
Yeah, that was it. Jenga destroyed it all. So yeah, so looking at it now, like I mean, LBB lost to Flag Fools badly. You guys are still in it. Infantry are still in it. But as Eagle made the point, one win and you're back in the fraternity on the green side of the.
But
playoff.
even like Killer Rays, like they're
they have a bit
4 points back.
But they have a bit of work to do though. They got to get 2
Okay,
wins.
they lost on the last play to us by a point. Like you know what I mean? They're literally 1 point away from being in there. I get.
Loss is a loss.
I mean, again, that's why we have a show mode, because the loss is not just a loss. Otherwise, there's no point in having a podcast.
Mangoose, are you think they're out?
It's tough.
I don't think they're gonna be.
We thought they'd be the weakest team in this division. Again, they're not cowardly. I'll give them that. They are heroes because they actually showed courage and challenged themselves.
I agree. Backyard Bullies did short courage of the win over you guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they're supposed to though,
Yeah.
because they're the better team. Are they not?
Their
Are they
bullets-
worse?
Their bullets were accurate against you.
But like, so my question is,
I took bullets for you.
no, you didn't.
I did take bullets
No,
for you.
Zero.
I took bullets for you at Broadside Fields.
No, you're like,
1 and 2.
I'm no, I don't know anything. I'm not here.
I was like, guys, it was Peasy's.
So, but what you're saying is, are they a worse team than Hot Sauce Sports?
Who?
Backyard Bullies.
Backyard Bullies to beat you guys.
Are they better or worse though?
You guys should have won. You guys lost.
So are we better?
I'm not saying you guys are better. You guys.
So
should've
who's
won.
better?
I said I took bullets for you. Anyway, the point is
But
this:
who's the better team?
The better team right now in that game was Backyard Bullies.
So they did what they're supposed to do. They're the favorites. They won.
Perhaps they did. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't understand what's the controversy.
I'm saying I took bullets for you.
Nope.
But you see, like, infantry right now. This is a team that I look at. They new quarterback that plays well. I score kept their game the last couple of weeks here for what they're trying to build up. And when you see, and we know him very well,
Like, who was quarterback that week?
Zach Stacy.
Okay.
Zach Stacy's been the guy for the last couple of weeks here. So when we look at Zach Stacy, he's gone up in weight class, right, for quarterback play this division from where he was with West Island boys. Does he have enough to get this team over the line into the playoffs?
The team's talent is there. The question mark from before the season started was quarterbacking, right? And I don't think, Mike Roy has enough of a pedigree that maybe if he played the whole season, it's different.
Yeah, but he's inconsistent though.
He is. Look, I'm not saying they'd be a top tier team
No.
with him at quarterback. I'm like, it would be a downgrade from whoever it is a downgrade from Corey Walowski, who is essentially the best quarterback in the division, right?
Yeah.
That part we can agree on. So, like maybe you keep giving Zach Stacy reps, and he like similar to Jeansley Alexi, it's just a guy who picks it up quickly. Maybe that's the case, but
Remember, 4 games they've lost by 8 points or less. So they've lost by a score or less.
yeah, but a lot of that's been on the backs of their defense, right?
Yeah.
Like they lost 28-20 to Junkyard Dogs, sure, but they also only scored 20 points.
Yeah.
Like they lose 34-26. That's a pretty good game against Top Season, but 26
by the way,
points.
McGrath had a great game that day.
Who?
McGrath for top season.
Yeah,
We
but
talk-
but I'm saying like you're not going to win a lot of games scoring 26 points. But go ahead,
no,
McGrath.
but I was going to say with Sean McGrath and him as a quarterback, You talk about Anton Sakis having a great deep ball. When Sean McGrath is healthy and he's locked in like a pitcher, he throws a beautiful ball.
Yeah, I think sometimes he falls in love with the deep ball a little too much.
Yeah, he does.
But that's just he hasn't played enough to develop really that level of like FPF maturity. But I like that's the next step for him is really knowing when to take the shots.
I want to see him have that connection with Hassani Warrell, Kevin Donnet.
Yeah. And especially Kevin Donnet's so great underneath, man.
Yeah.
Use him on underneath routes all the time.
Yeah. I mean, he goes to Ryan McGrath a lot, but I get it because they have that
The connection.
birth connection, right?
Yeah.
Who they are as brothers. But not to go off topic here, but like I just think that when Sean McGrath's locked in, he has a beautiful throw on his deep balls, and even the confidence that he exudes out there. But again, to the point that we have with this division right now, infantry, they could turn it around. I think they're trying to figure it out. I think Zach Stacy, if he figures it out and keeps it simple, I think that helps them. And it's that bounce, right? It's a bounce here, a bounce here that's gone their way in those 4 games that they lost by 8 points or less. 3 of them were by 4 points or less. So it's that flip of the coin piece and the luck of the draw sometimes, how this plays out for them. But I just think that they could be in play. I think you guys are okay. I think you guys will find some wins.
I have to not be trash.
I know,
because
but
we've lost a lot of games on like the last possession. So
right.
yeah, to a degree, yes, but I'm not playing well.
But you beat
Straight
Mangoose. Like you beat Mangoose in 10 days' time. I'll give you that.
Maybe
That's
we'll
a
see.
win.
We hasn't happened
But
yet.
that's 3, right? The Green Munches, depending who the quarterback is for Green Munches. If it's the Laval kid, oof, that's tough. That's gonna be tough.
We'll see.
But then you got 4th and Schlonk, who may not have the quarterback, which is gonna be a question that we'll have to clip. Eagle, don't forget to clip this clip over here.
What's a clip?
A clip is a clip. Yeah. So I think you guys get back into it. I think you guys get to 3, and then you go to the final 2 games.
The
and
frustrating
figure out the
part
fourth win.
is we know that's a good team, and I'm not playing well, and that's the most frustrating place to be in. That's all it is.
Right. Right.
Plain and simple.
Okay, so 4th and Schlong. They're not going to be with Michael Caparelli for the next 4 weeks. He's going to be on vacation. They are up the ladder now with what they've done so far. Can they hold on to the playoff spot at 3-3 going to their final 4 games of the regular season?
I think that despite the fact that Michael Caparelli is a great quarterback who throws really hard, throws balls that are really difficult to defend, the strength of 4th and Schlong is absolutely their depth, right? Guys like Julien Proulx, Darren McDazian, and Justin Lerner on this team as well. These are guys who are effective on both sides of the ball. I don't think it ultimately matters who's throwing to a degree. I think it will matter in some games. I think there's enough out there for them to be competitive. They're going to create turnovers, and we saw with Justin Lerner at quarterback. He threw 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. Justin Lerner's played the position before. They're not going to be the same team. They're still going to be a highly competitive team. I expect them to win more than they lose in that stretch.
Yeah, look, their final 4 games, which includes playing you guys, Bible study, tough team. You look at Bissett, Sippo, that's going to be a redo because there was a thunderstorm.
And never overtime's not bad either.
No, never overtime's not bad, right? If they can, again, we say the line is 4 wins. If they can get themselves to 5, they'll be in good shape going towards the playoffs here. Buy them some time. But that depth, you mentioned that depth. Zapatelli's been great for them this year.
Yeah.
The Wrangler, who, by the way, if you look at his stats, could be Hall of Fame. Look at his numbers. Interceptions and sacks. Rare duo number he has going on for them. He's good. But the thing that worries
Justin Blanchard would like a word.
Yeah, perhaps. But the worrisome thing about this situation for them is that they've been inconsistent, right? They lose badly to Commission earlier this season, which they could have won and just didn't play well. Then they beat the Sharks. So which team are we going to get now without Caparelli at quarterback? That's going to be key. And I think for them, if they're going to be sloppy, they're going to lose those type of games, and then they're going to be the outside looking in. But if they keep it clean, keep it safe, they'll be all right, and they'll be in the playoffs with 4 wins, if not 5.
Yeah.
And that's a clip.
What's a clip?
A clip.
Don't need to say it.
A clip's a clip. If you know what a clip is. LA Clippers.
I know Clippy.
A clip is something that Mokan would know about if he actually took bullets, but he's a coward and never took bullets in his life for anyone.
It looks like you're trying to host a podcast. Do you need help?
I do, yes. Trying to open up Division E over here. All right, on to Division E. Okay, Bloodline T-Wolves. What does this mean now for the playoff situation going towards the final 3-4 weeks of the season? T-Wolves are now 0-6-1. Bloodline are 2-5. I'm not going to say they're in, but they're in better position than where they were about 2 days ago with their record of 2-5.
I'm also waiting for it to
Yeah,
load.
no, Bloodline. So it's like, okay, I guess this thing hasn't loaded up yet.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Granddaddy Perp are in trouble, as we thought for most of the season. Bloodline. So
Their schedule's not easy, man.
no, but they
FSU,
got their 2 wins in through the last 3 games, right? So like
yeah.
they got a lot going for them. Yeah. The only chance they have is to beat Houday, but I think they might have done enough, to be honest. They might have done enough already to make the playoffs.
They are like they get one more. I think they're more than good to go. But again, that schedule though is brutal for them. You know, FSU is not going to be easy, and they're a bit peeved off right now. You look at Hail Marty's; they're a good team. Houday, they're a good team.
They're essentially in. Like they
can backdoor.
they
their way
have
now.
they have the head to head against Timberwolves. Timberwolves have some tough games ahead as well.
But it's just surprising though. Timberwolves have the athletes, but they just haven't figured it out. It's just it's not been there. They got the pass.
So, but here's the thing, Mo. Like athleticism is a nice luxury in FPF, but it's only one component. Like you need to understand what you're doing, and schematically, if they dude, the quarterback who's thrown the most touchdowns for them is Diddley Paul, who's thrown 4.
Yeah.
4. They don't have they have no quarterback that's thrown over 50, who's completed over 50% of his passes. How do you expect to win games? Like it doesn't. The athleticism doesn't matter. They're not playing with a level of competence that's required to win games. And again, to me, the surprising thing about this is that Jimmy Lee Janvier is on the team. You figure he'd be able to coach up the offense at least.
Yeah, I don't think he sees it. I don't think they see how he sees it. It's
Start with like 2-3 simple plays. Teach them that.
It's sort of like a slingshot offense, right? You have a slingshot. You're gonna extend the elastic as far as you can and just launch it as far as you could. And that's what they do. They just sling it, and that's all they care is hopefully get a touchdown on a 40-yard bomb.
But that doesn't
But I don't think they understand the concept of that.
that doesn't work.
I know, but they don't understand the concept that, hey, you get to play within that narrow field of, like, you can't be bombed at every single play as you were.
Like, there's a place for the deep ball, but, like, I mean, the types of teams that win in our league is very, consistency is the most important thing. And score and having a high percentage offense. And they're neither.
Yeah. FSU right now, they have the tiebreaker over Hail Marty's. Can they hold on to the number 1 seed, both at 7-1 right now?
So the only way for that to happen is that Hail Marty's needs to get an additional win over FSU, which means Hail Marty's would need to win both their games versus Satriel and Bloodline, and FSU would need to drop either to Bloodline or not U2. That's the only scenario where Hail Marty's can
only
pass.
game that could be if it's just not U2.
You think?
Yeah. Bloodline's not going to do it, right?
I mean, the other option is
I think
they
if-
both drop to Bloodline, for example, and then again, Marty's wins the other one, right? So it's like there's like combinations of that could also happen. So either FSU needs to drop both games or at least a game.
I don't think FSU's losing either one, to be honest.
No, not even to not U2.
Not U2's roster's been inconsistent. And like I think we just got bored with FSU, but like they're good, man. They've improved dramatically since their
Since
first
the False
appearance.
Kings anointment by us.
Absolutely, like they're legitimately playing well. Alejandro Fonte is a star in the making. Corey Danker, more so on defense, but definitely a two-way player. Justin Schwartz, his ability to use his legs and throw, and he's actually doing it with more purpose instead of just. He's basically as effective on the ground as he is in the air, which is wild. It's wild.
All right, so if they're the two best teams, in your today, does one or both make the finals?
FSU end?
And Hail Marty's.
Probably one. Someone will lose a stupid game. It'll happen. It always does. Not the first round because that doesn't happen so much in Division E. Yeah, I think we'll see at least one of them.
Okay.
And I'm not surprised if it's FSU. There's just something about them this season.
Yeah.
I know Hail Marty's offense has been completely unhinged, but FSU so far has been they have that kind of feel. Like it feels like their championship season. you
Yeah,
know?
FSU lost to Pass the Boys, but FSU was missing a bunch of key players in that game.
Which by the way, they're not a bad team at all. Pass it bad.
No, they're not. They're a decent team. They had a bad loss though, which they suffered on Sunday.
Fine, but like that's what you get from a middle of the table team, right?
Yeah.
They're high upside, but they're not a perfect team. And they're gonna lose games like that.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll see how this plays out for that side of the back. I think FSU is really good, and if they're fully loaded and healthy, they're gonna be tough. And Hail Marty's is gonna be good. And, I think that top half is just gonna be tricky because, I score kept meat lovers. They're okay. Meek FT, we like them a lot, but Houday, they gotta get their offense more in rhythm. Not you two could be a wild card if they're fully loaded. If they're not, rotating guys because guys are away because of flag tournaments, whatever it is. So that top 10 is not easy to dissect yet. Let's put it that way. Speaking of the bottom of Division E, once it's all said and done and we're in playoff mode, could the number 20 seed have one win going into the playoffs?
Yeah, we see it already. Area 69 at one win. So is Texas Wales, Texas Chooches as well. We've already talked about Timberwolves and Granddaddy Perp. The interesting thing is Texas Chooches play Texas Wales, and that'll sort out who gets to the glory of having 2 wins.
Or a tie.
Or a tie. A tie will absolutely cement.
Yes.
One of the teams is going to
We'll
playoffs with
produce
one win.
hats that says one win and we're in the playoffs.
But regardless of what Area 69 does, the winner of Texas Wales, Texas Chooches will move up with 2 wins, but the other will stay, I believe, in the top 20 with 1 win. So whether it's one of the 2 Texas teams, which bizarrely are of the same record, or Area 69, I do think that we're looking at that kind of situation. Now, Area 69 also play Timberwolves, so if Timberwolves win, they get 1 win, so it puts them in contention. But if Area 69 lose, they have that as well. So I do think it's going to be one of the Texas teams holding the 20 seed with 1 win.
I can't wait for the Battle of Texas, the Texas Shootout, the Texas
It's
Showdown.
Texas against Tex 4s.
Yeah, the Texas Shootout, Texas Showdown. I can't wait for this. I can't wait. North Texas versus South Texas. They could be directional teams. So
I mean, there is a chance.
there is a chance, right? But I think we're gonna have one for sure. A team coming in with a single win. I think you're looking at either the Chooches or Wales. That will be a one-win team coming into the playoffs. They both will qualify, but they both have. They've shown the ability to keep games competitive, but they just don't have that bandwidth to finish off games in those close matchups here. I mean, they play teams tough.
But let me ask you the question, the only question that matters.
Yes.
Land versus water.
Oof. I think I'm thinking water in this situation.
So you think
especially
whale
with
beats a donkey?
Yeah, with global
because-
warming going on right now. Yeah.
Because we have Chooches versus whales, Eagle. And so for Italians, a
Yeah.
Chooch is a donkey or
Yeah.
or an ass, basically. But
yeah.
so it's you think well,
Yeah, I'm
global warming wins out. We
Yeah,
lose. Wales
yeah.
win.
Whales are gonna win, my friend. Give me the whales. Can you play the Hartford Whales
Man.
song for us, please?
I cannot. Also put in perspective, the ocean is currently winning.
Yes, they are literally winning. It's unfortunate right now.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Compost your stuff, please, people.
So I will say when all the dust settles, and by that I mean settles within water, because again
The whale.
you're saying the
Texas
water
whale.
wins. So you think Texas Chooches are the one team
Yeah.
with 1 win,
Yeah, they'll be the one-win
Yep.
team.
and
Unless we
they'll-
have a tie, then we're in.
at that point they're the bottom of the rankings and
Yeah.
pin a tail on donkey.
Can you imagine if they win the championship as a one-win team?
Nope.
How awesome would that? That'd be.
Then
That would be the ultimate storyline.
that doesn't happen in Division E.
Eagle, would that be the ultimate storyline if one of these single-win teams?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's the ultimate storyline.
But is that like a
It would be
Disney
very
movie?
embarrassing
If
to see
they-
all the teams they lost to.
If they make the finals, I'll tell you what this, Mo. If they make the finals, you get the privilege of being on play-by-play.
I am not available for play-by-play that
Nope.
day. I'll be in Oshiaga.
Nope. You'll zoom in from Oshiaga
Yeah.
and do play-by-play.
What? Can't hear you guys. Bad connection. You're on Wi-Fi. It doesn't matter. Bad connection. All right, on to Division B. Look, right now, B's has a pretty unique playoff race coming along here, P's, with seeds 2 through 7 right now going towards week 8 of the season. You look at it right now, Blessed at 10 points, Poseidon's Kiss, Mangoose, B-Raves, all at 8 points each. Run It Once at 6, Silent Tickles at 6, Ambush at 6. There's a lot of movement right now with these teams from 2 through 7 here. How much do you see as a seismic shift of teams moving up and down the rankings?
I mean, quite a bit. I think that at this point we're pretty much sure who's going to make the playoffs, and so it comes down to seeding and who wants to have better matchups in the first round.
Right.
But that said, the bottom of the bracket are sort of these plucky teams that can win. It's like Silent Ticklers lost on a final play throw
That's right. In Loyola.
to Beers and Brownies, right?
Yes.
And
Laval. Yes.
and so like they might have that as the first playoff game. And then was it Blessed and Ambush? Ambush also beat someone recently. Yeah, Ambush destroyed Bless.
Yeah.
And so I'm not convinced that it necessarily matters in this division. Run at Once can beat anybody, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
And B-Raves, they're doing their thing where just add 2 more players to your roster, guys. Like, find 2 other people with $200 in their pocket, and you don't have this issue.
Well, unfortunately, now that those 2 players will not be playoff eligible.
I know, but like, it's just fine. They're going to be 6 players in the playoffs, and they'll win a bunch of games because that's what they do.
And make the finals.
And make the finals. But, like, you know, I'm not convinced that the bottom of the division.
It's not weak.
This is the division where seeding matters the least, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think it's a weak division. I think
It's not at all.
no. I think every matchup that we have, I think we have a 8 in the playoffs here. I think Beer Belly Brigade changed the quarterback again from Ross to a new guy. ECW is
New
pretty
guy,
much.
huh?
Yeah, ECW is officially. By the way, we have our first officially eliminated team in ECW. So Beer Belly Brigade or
Just to be clear, was new guy Sarah Parker? Because then you got both parts of that information wrong.
I know it was a new quarterback, but was it Sarah Parker? Okay, she was playing in Broadstar. Okay, yeah, I think she was playing for them yesterday. I beg your pardon. Yes,
She might have just been a sub. It was Sarah Parker, yeah.
I apologize. So she might have been sub because I remember they said we have a new quarterback, but I didn't know who it was. Was it Sarah Parker? I guess.
Sarah Parker threw.
Okay, so I apologize. So Sarah Parker was one that threw for Beer Belly Brigade, but I just think that all those matchups, they're close because besides Kiss, my question for them is, can they be a team that has playoff eligible players? Because they have a long list of roster guys on that team. You look at Blessed. They're going to be okay, I think.
It's a lot of the same situation as Jared Taylor's Division C team, right? Where just a lot of guys are out of town and missing games. And
yeah. But I think Run At Once is a team that I think can be a lot better than what they are, 3-3.
Yeah, well, that's what it was. Like, they'll be in the playoffs, and would you be surprised to see Run At Once in the finals? I
no.
would. So
no. And it would surprise me if Silent Ticklers make it to the finals.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a strong division in that I don't think the playoff matchups matter at all.
I think a little bit to an extent because
which is the one? Which is the one that's an obvious win?
I think for
like if Beers and Brownies Ambush, maybe.
Sorry, let me get. I went to the Poseidon's Kiss schedule up here. Sorry about that. As I try and buy some time here. Okay, yeah. Poseidon's Kiss. They have been impressive. I mean, minus the loss to Silent Ticklers, which I think is a bad match for them because Ticklers just kind of ran up on these guys. But I think Poseidon's Kiss, if they were to play Run At Once, if they were to play Beers and Brownies again, I think they would give them a tougher run than before. I think that's a team to watch out for. They're a wild card. They're a wild card team because they have some decent players on that roster that could play.
Why does their schedule look wild?
Because they had a thunderstorm delay.
Well, why is it still on the schedule?
But they played it already, though.
Yeah, and okay, but look at week 4, look at week 6, and then there's 2 week. Okay, I guess they play 2 games on week.
Their schedule was more backloaded towards the end of the season.
Yeah, okay.
Because they had like 2 games.
I thought it was like 2 errors.
No, they had a heavy backload towards the end. But anyway,
but that might help them because maybe that's all their players are going to be returning from vacation or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, I just think they're intriguing. If they have everyone fully loaded, they're going to be a tougher out than normal, I think. And I think Rocco Cristiano quarterback.
I said a thing, and then I said that there's no like secure matchups that essentially seeding doesn't matter, and then you're making the case for me after saying no.
No, but I'm saying that they're going to be tough out for whoever they get.
But I'm saying that about the entire division.
But I'm saying about them though. I think
so. Who's the easy out?
The easy out, I think, could be Ambush.
I don't think so. They've only they're 1 game behind essentially most of the division, and Ben McMahon has thrown 37 touchdowns, 4 interceptions all season long. They've beaten Blessed. They were within a point of beating Mangoose.
B-Ravs ran them off.
Sorry?
B-Ravs ran them off.
Okay. That's 1 game.
Yeah, it wasn't close. The scoreline was not close as before.
And all that, they're one game behind B-Rabs.
Right now, yes. We'll see what B-Rabs do. By the way, we have to figure out that game that they had.
So, but my point is that they're a team that can score 30, 35 against anybody, right? So that means they're in it in every playoff game. It's plain and simple.
Perhaps. We'll see what they do now. But we have a clip now coming up. We have a clip coming up here. It says, this is a clip segment.
The height of professionalism.
Clip segment coming up here. Okay, so Beers and Brownies, they're running away with Div B. Is there a team that they don't match up well with?
So because this is a clip, I'll just reset the thing I just said. I think there's no such thing as a good matchup in these playoffs. I think Ambush can beat them. I think Silent Ticklers, we saw it. We saw it on this show. We replayed the clip of them winning on the last play of the game.
On a base formation.
On a trips play. And run it once. Our team, I'm confident that can beat anyone in the division. No, absolutely. I don't think there are any easy matchups. I think regardless of who's on top of the standings, they have a tough road ahead of them because of how tightly wound this division is.
So for Beers and Brownies, as I tie my shoelace right now.
Makes it useless for the clip segment.
Absolutely it does. Look, they've had some close wins this year. There's no question about that. They lost close one to Bless. I think Iggy is starting to get much more comfortable now, whereas in the first couple of weeks, he was a little bit gun-shy in how he was reading the field and stuff, but now he's much more relaxed than before, and this team is playing better.
Nonsense. Week 2, 137.9 QBR. Week 3, 132.3 QBR.
But there was throws that he would make in the lower divisions that were easy, but he was kind of hesitant. I mean, he even asked me, he goes, what do you think? Oh, Iggs, you got to be more confident, man. Those windows are tighter. You got to be confident in those throws.
Just to be clear, through the first 3 weeks of the season, he had 19 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yeah, but there were some throws that he made that he would have normally made that were not there.
This is you just digging in, and you're wrong.
But I've scored kept his games in Div B.
Wrong.
I've scored this. We spoke about it, Iggy and I.
Yeah, cool. You gave him the wrong advice. You're wrong.
But we spoke about it. He agreed.
Since then, I just want to point out, he has thrown 8 interceptions. So given your advice,
but
maybe he was a right to be gun-shy, Mo. Maybe he was just playing conservative.
I just said that he's improved since then.
He hasn't. He's been playing worse.
But I'm saying he's played better now than
He's
did.
not. He's playing worse.
But I'm telling you, he's played better, man. Scored kept his games.
My guy, he's playing worse.
I'm telling you, dude. Call Iggy on the phone, please. Clip that for us, please.
Dude, he's objectively playing worse. Like by a wide margin.
He was gun shy in the first few weeks of the season, not a score cap. I go, Iggs, you got to be confident in your throws, man. You have to be confident in your throws. And then he got better. Like, he made some better throws.
It feels like he's been overconfident. He's been throwing a lot of interceptions.
Well, he's not winning quarterback of the year, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, because your advice, your terrible advice.
Oh, he listened to Mogon. That's what
Maybe he took bullets for your advice.
Perhaps he did. Fake bullets, too.
That's the only kind you know, Mo.
Of course. Dan Mancini, are we giving him the Receiver of the Year award? This guy's putting up some major video game numbers in Division B this season.
You know what? Maybe. I'm waiting to load it up.
Which video game would you associate him with, Mo?
I would go with NFL Street.
That's too obvious. That's the worst answer ever.
Well, I can go NFL.
You could have
Blitz.
gone Sonic the Hedgehog because he's fast.
But you said, you said video game, right? I thought we were talking about like NFL related video game.
Why? You have the whole world as your oyster.
But I thought we were doing football related.
It's because it's the only games that Mo actually knows.
No, I'm just saying. I thought we were just talking.
Name
about
5 games.
I'll go Contra with them.
Up, down, up, down.
You left,
That's
right,
fine.
left, right.
Yeah.
Start select. He's like the spread.
The
weapon.
fact that no Mo knows the Contra code is the most surprising thing.
Yeah, it's like the spread. Like he's a spread gun. Like he's amazing out there.
So I go Lethal Weapon. No, not Lethal Weapon. What was it called? Lethal Enforcer. Lethal Enforcer is what I'm going. It have to be old games because Daniel Mancini's been playing this league a long time, so I feel like it's got to be a vintage video game.
Yeah.
Mrs. Pac-Man. He's Mrs. Pac-Man because you never expect him to be as good as he is. I didn't know how that sentence was going to end, Eagle, but when I started, I was going to, like Mo, I'm not going to admit I'm wrong. I'm going to dig in further.
Oh boy, we're going to hell, aren't we?
Probably.
By the way, he could hit 1,000 yards receiving. He's got from.
I'd say keep an eye out for Marvin Steinberg though. Marvin Steinberg's been putting up some great numbers too. It just takes one big game. Phil Farah's not far behind, and he's getting the target share.
But the yards, though, does that is that a difference maker because he's at almost 700, and the next closest guy is Farah at 493.
Yeah, and Phil probably is. I mean, I haven't checked the defensive stats, but he's more likely to win like defense, like the two-way player or defensive player of the year as well. That's why I thought Marvin Steinberg, and the reason why I thought Marvin is the 15.4 yards per catch.
Yeah.
Like if he just has a couple of big games, I think even yardage he can make it close, and then at that point it really will come down to who's got the more catches and touchdowns.
Right. Well, I think look, if he hits 1,000, he gets it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's a clinch.
1,000's tough, man.
It is. He's got 4 games though, and he just needs about 100 plus, like 104 yards per game. And he can hit it.
That's on the 40-yard field. That's a big deal.
Exactly. All right, on to Division D. We've been asked to explain the Division D playoff splits. So, Eagle, are we able to explain that? Because I'm still trying to figure out how this goes about.
I mean, I'm not because I'm not aware of it.
Okay, so we can't even.
Can we do it
discuss.
next week?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Iggy will be here, and then Iggy and I'll do it.
Yeah.
Because I just don't want. I to be honest, I didn't prepare for this segment. So
No, like I still don't know the Division D playoffs. Right?
I know it. I know it. I just don't want to make a mistake. And Iggy and I discussed it before the season, so we'll do it in greater detail next week. That's
Excellent. With Iggy, we'll do a whole 2-hour show with Iggy. Like bringing.
Why?
in-
We'll have no choice because Iggy's on the show, so it's guaranteed
Yeah.
2 hours.
What do you think right now?
Who should lead the show next week?
Oh,
God.
Iggy.
I should.
Oh, Iggy. Iggy, please.
No, we're gonna be here forever.
My
I-
favorite.
I remember. Sorry to cut you off, Pease. I remember when I was covering the Habs one night, and it was UNC Montagny Winter Season 2019,
Yeah.
and I got home like 11:45, and I texted him all like.
But
how
it was a playoff show,
know.
and we had like a billion
I know.
games to break down.
I go, so how's the show going? How was it? We're still going. I go, what do you mean we're still going? It's
Yeah.
hour 4.5.
Yeah.
What?
It was like 3.5, but yeah, it was long.
It was 11:45. I go,
Yeah.
what's going on here? He
It
goes,
was
yeah.
long. No, but it's just because we broke down every single playoff
know,
matchup,
I
and
know.
back then there was no buys. It
I
was
know,
just
it's
yeah, it
brutal.
was a
That
lot.
first playoff window show is always the worst. of the bunch.
no.
That's like our inventory, right? That's like our inventory year. Like,
Yeah.
it's like we do every game. And it's like, oh man, it's long.
Yeah. I want to say we were not sober in that show, and it lasted
No,
longer. than
Simon was not happy.
The Iggy's come a long way as an FPF talent, like and not just as a quarterback. I mean, like an
Yeah.
FPF media talent.
Yeah,
The one thing he does, which is wild, when he leads the show, is he asks a question, gets the answer,
and
then
he
answers his own question,
again.
which makes everything twice as long. He'll get it though. He'll
He's
get
gonna,
it.
he's gonna have to figure out for Fall Cup, right? Like he's gonna be hosting the show quite a bit in Fall Cup.
I think he's the host.
Do we let the rabbit out of the bag here? Like we let the cat out of the
Well,
bag? here?
I'm on paternity leave.
I'm not gonna be here as much anyway.
So yeah, we got a lot to figure out. That's a lot. Anyway,
By the way, this is like our last few shows together as a tripod.
well, yeah, Eagle is the tripod.
Because you're gonna be gone for a while, and then Eags is gonna be busy
Yeah.
with his work as well. I won't be here as often, so this is like we do like the best of right now, man.
Yeah, for sure. And is this gonna be like Scrubs when they came back for that final season?
I don't know, man.
I hope not.
The band comes back.
That's the line.
The band comes back. Like, is there any game like Sopranos like where you just go to like a black
Cut to
screen?
black. That'd be cool. I'd be
The
down.
garage door opens up and goes black screen.
Yeah.
What happened? Who got killed? Did anyone get killed? Anyway.
Well, I mean, if you actually take bullets, it'll be you this time.
Maybe. That should be the clip right there. Okay. Look, right now, you look at Division D, there is a lot of unknowns right now. You have 9 teams at 12 points or better. 2 points separates first from ninth. And then behind them is Primetime, Idaho Ute Pimps, West Island Boys at 10 points each. So they can jump into the playoff window here. Pease, I can't figure out who is the best team in this division right now.
And there's 7 billion teams.
I know.
7 billion. I like friends with Danny. They're kind of in the middle of the chart. You know,
That's
the fact that
that's
we
my
have
F-150.
5 teams with there are 5 teams with 14 sorry.
You have 9 teams at
let me
12
start.
points or better.
9 teams with 12 points or better, but of that, right in the middle, you have 4 teams with 1 loss. And they're not. None of them are at the top of the division. Les Bleus Dry are a cool team. Bandits moving down the division, very competitive. I had a chance to watch Les Renards Vifs a little bit yesterday. They're really good.
Yeah, that's a question I was going to ask you about them.
Go ahead.
Like,
Ask me.
With LRV and every inch counts right now. Who gets the first spot? Because they're both at 7-2. They have 1 game left. Everyone else has 7.
I don't think either one.
So you think they're going to drop?
I think there's going to be at least 4 teams with 2 losses or less.
So 4 teams, 2 losses. Okay, and they
So like
reveal-
the tiebreakers are gonna make it wild. Like we don't know. There's a chance that these teams finish 3rd and 4th or 4th and 5th.
or they finish 7th, 8th because the petit carotte.
I mean, there's a lot. Like I think a lot would have to happen for that to be the case. But yeah, because a lot of these teams also play each other, right?
yeah.
And that makes it difficult. I watched Friends and Danny play. Like I said, like
The
I really like them
F-150.
too.
Yeah.
Idaho Uta Pimps also a 1 loss at 11. Prime time with 1 loss at 10.
Bandits have 1 loss at 13 right now. They got
Bandits are Huntsick.
yeah, Huntsick exactly.
Can we just remove Bandits and just call them Huntsick, and that way we stop having all this confusion.
Yeah, because the Huntsick boys thought I was talking about them. I go, no, I'm talking about the fake bandits. You guys are the real bandits.
Which who are really good, and you were wrong about completely.
Oh, you see Jad Reedy's comment?
No.
So we had clip the top 5 rankings for Division D.
What's a clip?
Exactly.
Empty the clip. Take bullets.
And Jad Reedy wrote blasphemy because
Yeah.
I didn't include them in my top 5.
No, because they've had good wins too.
Yawn.
All right. Again, Mokan refusing to admit he's wrong, as always.
Yawn. They are the golden arches of false kings right now.
Okay, why is that?
We spoke about it last week.
No, we didn't.
I did. I
I wasn't here. So tell
know.
me.
Yeah, I forget what I said last week, but
So, because you're going to get caught in a lie.
no. Like
Yeah, St. Turtles
I-
is an easy win for them, right? Because they smoked them. Oh, they beat Renard Vif. Oh, yeah, and they beat Idaho Uta Pimps?
Oh, I'm sorry. Which game was I referring to with Ig? I'm trying to remember that. Oh, Flagtastic. They were not impressive in Flagtastic. They lost to Blue Dry by
They
3.
won 24-6. They
They weren't
6
impressive
points.
though. They should
Yeah,
have
that's a terrible defensive
They should have
game.
ran these
Yeah.
guys off like 48-0.
2 scores, though. It's a blowout.
Anyway, I'm not buying into them. They are the arch kings of false kings at that pinnacle right
Being
now.
that they're the king of arches?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know what
They're
you
the
mean by
king of
arch
arches.
kings. Like,
They're the false kings, all right? It's hot in here. I need a fan on.
Eli, I think we need a sounder here because I think Mo's flustered.
I am flustered right now. It's hot in here, man. I'm losing my focus right now.
Would you like me to turn on the fan?
Yeah,
or-
please. Why is it not on? I'm sweating my
I know, like
my
I'm like
nuts
literally, and this guy's controlling us right now. Look at his eyes. Look at him.
Flustered.
He's evil. He's maniacal right now. He hates us.
flustered, man.
Flustered. That was Brent Callender when I asked him that question. Brent Callender. Who? Brent Callender.
Calendar, man.
But look, you're right. There's still so much unknown right now for LRV and every inch counts. They do not control their fate to be the 1 or 2 seeds in this playoffs. I think they'll probably be somewhere, as you said perfectly, 4 to 5, 6 low.
I mean, maybe, but that thing's they also could finish 1 and 2, right? Like,
Yeah.
none of it's surprising at this point because the points against for both teams is very good. You know,
Yeah.
they're giving up less than 20 points a game, and they've scored. I know for tie-breaking scoring doesn't matter much, but hey, they put up a ton of points. They have a lot of tiebreakers. That said, you know, we just talked about it. Nardviv don't have the tiebreaker against Bandits.
Yeah.
Every inch counts. Like they've lost a couple of games as well, which are you know, I don't think it'll hurt them per se, but it, you know, they did lose to, I can't even find their losses. They lost to Piscichelot,
Yeah.
who may jump up right in the rankings.
Yeah, and they got Phil Peltier thrown for LPC now. So, again, this is still a lot to sort out right now that they have to uncover and figure out. But it's gonna be fascinating to see how this plays out because, again, before we get to the next question here, right now, Peas, when you think about it, the 9th seed has at minimum 6 wins. Your top 10 could have 7 wins
Yeah,
minimum.
I think that's the reality.
That's like
Because I think there's gonna be a lot of cannibalism in those spots. So I
Yeah.
think there's gonna be a lot of split matchups. So a lot of those 1-win teams will end up 7-3.
yeah, it's like trying to get to Harvard with like a 93 percentile average, and you can't get in because you're not good enough. So anyway,
Just like that.
exactly,
It's exactly the same thing. I was gonna say.
exactly. I read your mind perfectly there, Peas. Okay, so look, Ryan McNally and Charles Cote, they've had some wonderful seasons on defense this year. You look at Ryan McNally for Big Fat Bats, 19 tackles, 9 INTs, 5 PDs, 2 pick sixes. Charles Cote for LPC, 10 tackles, 8 INTs, 2 sacks, 5 PDs, and 1 pick six.
Mm-hmm.
This is if these are the 2 guys that's going to go for the award for Defensive Player of the Year. Could sacks be the difference in why Charles Cote could win this award?
No, 2 sacks is nothing. It's a
Okay.
pittance. You fell into 2 sacks. That won't be the reason. It doesn't mean he won't win Defensive Player
So
of the Year.
what would be the reason why Ryan McNally would win this award?
Well, first of all, he's been ridiculous. Ryan, like we talked about early in the season, is that dude went from looking like Archie in the comics to looking like Archie in Riverdale. Like, dude got jacked, and he's been so impressive. He's insane shutdown caliber corner. He can roam deep. He's great in the flats as well. The 2 pick sixes are valuable. They put points on the board. He leads obviously in interceptions. I think it's a three horse race between Ryan McNally, Charles Cote, and Jeremy Peltier. Jeremy Peltier, the only reason he might not is no, he's not playing quarterback. Never mind. So yeah, so I think it's a three-headed race, and Emerson Peterkin's not far behind either, having played only 7 games.
I think Archie McNally is definitely the favorite, but it's a slight edge over Charles Cote. I watched Cote play for LPC the other week. Just like McNally, he covers every blade of grass on that turf, whether it's indoors or outdoors. I think what it'll come down to is both those guys, can they come up with another INT or maybe a pick 6 to kind of cement their value? Like, the sack thing is cool. Charles Cote's had that in his back pocket, but Ryan McNally, what he does is he's an eraser. He's a coach, too, in the field, and that makes him different. And Charles Cote does the exact same thing for LPC, where he coaches up his defense. I've seen this kid play. I've seen both of them play the tackle level, and they're both leaders in how they are, and that's translated well for them in this style of football.
I just love the laid-back demeanor of Ryan McNally, though.
Archie McNally?
He's a pleasure to play with. I've played with him before. Dude's awesome. And, like, there's never a moment that feels big for him. He always just seems loose and ready to make a play.
Yeah, he got freaked out when I said he's a starting bench warmer. He says, "Am I a starting bench warmer?" I go, "Yeah."
Okay.
But Archie McNally is the new nickname now.
I got you to do a spit take. That's not common.
Archie McNally is the great.
I rarely catch you that way.
Oh man, Archie McNally. That's the new name. Arch McNally.
Absolutely. Arch King False King Arch
King False McNally. All right, on to Division A. Very simple here. All Stars. Are we giving them the #1 seed with them having a 3-point lead on Crashers and Jameson?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I want to say something about Party Crashers real quick.
Yeah.
If I am permitted.
Yes, you are.
I got called out by Fred Dupree, and he's right. He says my analysis on him is outdated, and to be fair, we have a lot of teams in FPF. I don't score keep, so I haven't seen him play in a while.
Yeah.
He's adapted his play style, and he's been more successful, to be fair.
Right.
And on me, I do hope to see them play again. So I'm going to avoid making the same analysis I've been making for about a year.
Okay,
Party
so
Crashers.
their big
So
game.
the
My
bullets that Dupuis shot at you and everything, they actually hit this time around, basically?
Yeah, so what happens is I don't need to erect a straw man like Mo, and I can be held accountable for my own actions. and
So
words.
Fred Dupree, they'll play Jameson's on July 13th.
Yeah. So here's the thing, though. Like, Fred Dupree, he takes too many deep shots. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm just joking.
But I think it's for the #2 seed. That game will determine the #2 seed in the playoffs for Crashers and Jameson. But, you think about what Party Crashers did, though. You're right. Fred Dupree has really elevated the expectation levels of this team for where they were coming in to where they are.
We thought at best they're a mid-table team, right?
They beat Braves. We thought, Iggy and I thought it'd be Braves, and that would open up the #2 seed. But now it's become almost a 2-horse race with these two teams, with Jameson against Party Crashers. And I love it because the Crashers beat Jameson's by 4 earlier in the year. So now can Jameson beat them by 4+ in that head-to-head battle to get the #2 spot overall?
Yes, they can.
And I think Jameson's is starting to peak at the right time. I score kept their game, I think it was Monday. I was going to say it's Monday. Yes, Monday, where they were against Royan Lumiere. And that was a fantastic game because they were up by 2 scores on RL. RL comes back, onside kick. They come back. They're now up, go on a 21-0 run on these guys. They're up by 8. And Jeff Rosenblatt rolls the dice to go for the onside kick, gets it, scores, ends up winning by 5 at the end of the day.
I will say this about All Stars, though. They do play Star City in back-to-back games. Now, no. All Stars.
All Stars, yes.
Because you asked,
Yeah.
the genesis of the question is, do they have the 1 seed locked up?
Yeah.
Generally, I would agree because first of all, anybody beating All-Stars in back-to-back weeks is wild. But Star City's starting to play better.
Yeah.
Star City, we know they're talented. We know the quarterbacking for them is amongst the best in the division. The sort of the Mount Rushmore of FPF, like we talked about,
Right.
where we all forgot Nando Fuse plays in FPF.
Yeah.
But it's all good. It's all good. But I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Star City wins both, and then All Stars finds himself as a 2nd seed.
Which would open it up, right? For
basically I think at that point the winner of Jameson's and Party Crashers might be the 1 seed. Imagine a world where like after all the shit I've been saying about Party Crashers, they end up the 1 seed, right?
And you know it's funny, Jameson's wins have all been 5 points or less this year.
That's kind of the team they are though.
Yeah.
They're gritty. And that's the thing is like I will say this about Jeff Rosenblatt is
Which
that
we'll have on right now. I think Jeff's going to come on with us.
Is he?
Yeah, we're supposed to have him
I know.
on.
I'm confirming.
Yeah, he
that
said
that's-
yes, but I forgot to remind him today, but we'll call him up.
Also, Matt Kerouac, I forgot to confirm with you, so I'm pushing you next week.
Yeah.
But with let's say you give 5 plays to win the game, I'm always expecting Jeff Rosenblatt to win that game.
And that's what he did against RL.
But that's what he does. Like
yeah.
if he manages the game such that he ends the game with the chance to win, if you give him somewhere between 4 to 6 plays, that's almost 100% guaranteed they're winning the game.
Yeah, I think that. See, here's the funny thing, right? I won't say who was on the bench when it was happening. They scored. They were
Why
down.
not?
I'll mention it. It was
It's like you making the decision to bench a player, right?
So, no, but Anto Brisebois got hurt,
Okay.
so he was missing the game. So he was like, "Oof." He goes, "I don't know if I would go for the onside kick at this point, right? Because they were down, I think, by like 1 at a time, and he rather than go for the 2-point convert, he went for the onside kick because he wanted to kill out the plays in case he does convert it, which he did." And it shows balls, right, on his part to say, "Look, I don't care, man. We lose. We're going to win this game how we want to do it." But I also look at Jesse Dupuis and what he brought to the table that day. He, even when they were down by 2 scores, it doesn't matter. Like, they'll go, "We don't care, man. We're going to go punch you in the mouth." And get
But
that.
those 2 guys are similar in that way, right? Like they're never out of the game. And again, and I don't mean this in a disparaging way like we've talked about in previous seasons, is I think they're 2 of the better game managers. They're 2 guys who put themselves in positions to win games.
Yeah.
You know, and that's an important given how short the game is in FPF,
Right.
that's an important component.
Right. Is Jeff with us, Eagle?
He will be if you want me to call him, but we're going to do the next segment first because you have him at the bottom of the script.
Oh, you can join us now. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, maybe you could have just put in the chat, and so then you don't say it out loud.
That's okay.
And Eagle could have spent all this time that I was just buying time the entire time.
I know. I thought he was ready to go. You know, I was
You
like,
didn't hear the ring, man.
I know. I was like,
You hear the ring now?
we hear the ring
Yeah,
now.
we hear it now.
Hopefully, he joins us. Jeff Rosenblatt.
He will. I told him 10 minutes, and it's
Very
exactly 10
professional.
minutes, so it's quite
Very
perfect.
professional.
That's how we roll here, man. That's the beauty of the show, man. It's the unpredictability of the script. The script has so much twists and turns.
does.
I guess he will be. We'll get him back. We'll call him back in 2 seconds. How about that?
No, he's there.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
What's up, boys?
There's the
Hey.
winning quarterback.
How's
Jeff
it going, my man?
Rosenblatt.
What's up? What's up?
Not much. So Jeff Rosenblatt here with us from Jameson's and Run It One. So Jeff, we just want to talk. We were talking about the Div A game that you had, the phenomenal game against RL Monday at Papineau. Take us inside. What was going through your mind when you guys were down? You opted to go for the onside kick when you guys were down 1 with very little time left in the game.
Yeah, the thought process was we were having some trouble on D, and Jesse was playing amazing. And when we scored, all the guys were like, "You want to know something? Let's just go for it, get the ball back, try to win the game that way. You know, we got faith that we can convert it." And we just said, let's just do it. So we went for it, and it was more of a credit to how well the other guys were playing on offense. So we just said, let's try to put the game in our hands, and luckily we converted it.
So there's a sort of a theme in this segment so far. I issued an apology to Fred Dupuis because he made a comment to Iggy that my analysis of him is out of date, that he doesn't just try and push the ball downfield. You've played against him this season. You guys took a loss 48-44. You're going to be playing against him again in Week 10. given the fact that, just in all honesty, I haven't seen him play much, just hasn't happened to be at the field at the same time as me last season or so. What's the changes that he's made that's made him a more successful quarterback at Division A this time around?
So to me, first of all, Fred skill set wise is up there with the top quarterbacks in all of FPF. That's for sure. I think in the past, like a lot of quarterbacks, especially tackle guys that were really good quarterbacks when they played tackle, they come to flag and they want to take shots. They want to hit the deep ball, which is, it's more fun. It's sexier to do that. But, I think, possibly the one knock on Fred in the past has been that he's tried to force that deep ball a little bit more than maybe he should. And I can tell you this year, he has 100%. I mean, we've spoken about it. I've spoken to Fred about it. He's told me, I want to win a championship. The way to do it in flag is you have to take the check down sometimes. If you're up against cover 3, you can't force that deep ball in. And he's told me flat out, I'm being more conservative. I'm taking what the defense gives me. And when a guy like Fred with his skill set and his team decides to take what the defense gives him, those guys are going to be very dangerous. So props to Fred for changing it up. And I think he's having a tremendous year.
I believe his last finals appearance was in winter 2006. So he's gone a long time without a finals appearance back when he was a young pup playing in this league here. Jeff, when you look at it right now, I asked Pete this question, All-Stars, do you think they are now going to be the number 1 seed going towards the final few weeks of the season?
I think so. I think, early in the year, Pat Jerome missed a few games. So that was tough, I think, for Kevin possibly to adjust. I mean, I think they only have 1 loss, if I'm correct. To us, yeah. And again, Pat wasn't there, so it wasn't obviously a full roster for them. But, it's the same story like we always say. You have a team with Kevin Wyeth and guys like Pat and Chris and Matt and a lot of his go-to guys. They're always going to be either the number 1 seed or up there with some of the other top dogs. Kevin, he's the ageless wonder. He's still doing the same things he's been doing forever in FPF. So I think the way the season is going to play out, they look like they're going to finish on top.
Yeah, absolutely. So we talked about you in a clip recently about your vast improvement. I saw you in the hallway at Broadsword. I was talking to somebody, and as you walk by, he's like, "Hey, I remember him from playing Division E. How did he get to Division A so quickly?"
Steroids.
I was like, he's just a smart dude. He's just a good recruiter, gets guys who fit his system, but also I think not enough is made up of your skill set, to be honest. But what do you think has been like? What was the moment for you where it clicked to like, oh, this is what I gotta do to be successful at the high divisions?
It's a good question. I mean, I think tackle versus flag. I never played tackle. May not be a surprise to a lot of you, but yeah, I never played tackle. So I started playing flag, super late. Obviously, I'm an older guy, so I think the big thing about playing quarterback and flag, it's not necessarily always about having, let's say, the strongest arm per se. I think play calling and accuracy might outweigh sort of the skill set of just having that huge arm and being able to throw the ball 60 yards and throw it 100 miles an hour. I think the accuracy and the ball placement is a little bit more important. Play calling is a huge thing. And, I've said in the past, guys like Kevin and Paul LaPierre really sort of showed me the ropes of how to do play calling in the higher divisions. And of course, goes without saying, if you surround yourself with better talent, it makes it obviously way easier to implement a system that you might have. Right now in Division A, it's by far the best roster I've ever had. The guys on my team are just unbelievable ballers. Even on my Division 2 team, a bunch of ballers also, but Div B team. But I'd say the number one thing is really it's also a confidence thing. If you feel like you can do it, I think it makes it a lot easier. Obviously I'm not the most talented guy, but if you sort of believe that you can do it and just try things out and try to find guys that you mesh well, that have good talent on the field. I would say, guys that are in Div D or Div C, try moving up a division. You never know you never know what could happen. Things could just click for you, and don't be scared to try and take it to the next level.
Just to put Jeff's growth into perspective, almost 8 years ago to the day, June 28th, 2015, Top Sauce beat Keyport Lock 34-13 in Division C, and this guy, and I'm pointing at myself, nobody can see it, intercepted him. And if we played today, I would stand 0 chance.
Yeah.
Because Jeff is now a Division A quarterback, and I am still a lowly Division E defender.
But you're Division A in our hearts, though, Eagle. Jeff, are you more surprised with Braves being 3-3-1 or Star City being 2-5?
Definitely more surprised with Star City. I know Braves in the regular season, sometimes not all their guys show up. So I don't know if
Why
they've had.
can't they add 2 players? Just add 2 bodies. Any 2 players.
Yeah, they probably should.
Just find 2 people with $200. It's not that hard.
I know
In this
Joe
economy?
for sure gets frustrated, I think, sometimes when his guys don't show up. So the Braves in the regular season, not that surprising because they're a playoff juggernaut. So wherever they finish, no one wants to face them. So I think with the roster inconsistencies, it's not that shocking to me. The Star City thing, I don't even have words for it. I mean, my team played them. They put up a 50 point display on us. They were tremendous. I haven't seen any of their other games, so I don't know what's really going on there, but it's very shocking to me that Dan's team only has 1 win.
Can I 2 wins now because they beat Bless up yesterday?
Oh, 2 wins. Sorry.
Or on
Whatever it
Monday.
was.
Yeah.
This week.
Yeah.
I want to ask a related question about Division B. Similarly, we're seeing B Raves sort of kind of not struggling, but they're kind of middle of the table as well. Do you think it's a similar issue, or is that roster construction not quite what it needs to be for Division B?
I think when all of their guys are there, they are absolutely a top team. We actually played them last night, and an hour before the game, Joe messaged me to say, 2 of my guys just bailed last minute. I may have to forfeit the game. He told me he made a post on Facebook he got 2 random guys to just fill in. And they were still, we won by 2 points, I think, or something like that. So I think it's the same issue, some roster inconsistencies. But I can tell you, any team that Joe has when everyone shows up, that's not a team that you want to face in the regular season or the playoffs, 100%.
Before we let you go, Jeff, looking ahead here for Division A, will you be joining us in the booth or on the football field for the Div A finals?
Keep in mind that I may need to go to the pregnancy ward and see my wife deliver a baby. So we might need an extra body in the booth. Just saying. For my benefit, I need you to lose.
So first of all, Mazel Tov on that, and second of all, you're gonna see us on the field, baby. The Jamesons are here right now. We are legit. Everyone's balling up. Everyone's rolling on all cylinders, and we're looking to be in that finals game with you saying my name on the field as opposed to me right next to you.
So we're doing 1 up, 1 down. He's going to be field level for the analysis stuff. Is that what it is?
We'll put a mic on him in game.
Give him the analysis during the game here.
So
you can mic me up while I'm throwing, and I'll call the plays for you.
I'm going to set you up for the play. Like, Jeff, what happened in that play? I just threw an interception on
We saw Michael Malone at the Denver parade with that "Put that in the pipe, put that in your pipe and smoke it" T-shirt. For Jamesons, it would be Jeff walking around with a "Put that in your terrible Photoshop and smoke it."
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to give a shout out to Quade Johnson, who is the guy that made all those pictures for us that I posted. So hopefully they keep coming. But big shout out to Quade for putting a lot of effort.
It's the most fun I've had in an FPF offseason ever.
Yeah, it was great. And by the way, congratulations to your teammate James Tyrell, who's going to get married in Barbados in the next week or so, right? And so
absolutely, another big l'chaim and mazel tov to James and Kiana. So James and Quade are about to be family for real. So we're all super excited for them.
Excellent, Jeff. Thank you so much for joining us. You've always been awesome to come on and contribute, support FPF as always, and we'll see you in the booth for August 7th.
Yeah. And when he
No,
says
you won't,
creative-
but love you both.
See you in the finals.
Good luck,
Yeah,
good luck,
guys.
dude.
Thanks a lot, Jeff.
And when he says
Yeah.
Quaid, he means Dennis Quaid, obviously.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
great. Oh, Randy.
Not
Quaid.
not Randy. No. Don't
Randy.
be ridiculous. You're being insane right now.
Randy Quaid. You know, never know that. Okay, we have one more clip to do. We have to do another clip, right?
Apparently.
I mean, yes, because that's what the script
Taskmasters.
says.
Jeez.
Yeah, you know, Iggy told us to do a clip here. Okay, so bless up. They're 1-5. They lose to Star City. They got 4 games left here. Are they in trouble?
It's been interesting. They've lost so many of their games on the final play or on the final possession. It's the most frustrating thing as a quarterback when you're taking a seat and watching your team lose, and that's been the case a lot for Stephen Harpersad. Stephen Harpersad taking the field with sunglasses this week. He's doing everything he can to keep his team competitive. He's trying to make sure that defenses can't read his eyes. The dude is always thinking about how to keep his team competitive. This week, the game ended, or essentially ended, on a ball thrown by Dan Lazara on a convert to AJ Gomes. It's been on Instagram as well. Will Power trying to make the play, couldn't get there. The two bodies collided. AJ Gomes holding onto the ball for the big win. That just shows you that that's the kind of season it's been for them. I wouldn't say in trouble, but at some point, losing single score games and losing close games doesn't get you wins. Wins get you wins.
That's like a Trent Dilfer line he made.
Yeah.
You-
Trying to make a clip, bro.
you
Take
see-
notes.
You see the Trent Dilfer ESPN line?
No.
Google it. Trent Dilfer ESPN
First of
losing line.
all, look at my hairline. I'm not in any danger of being Trent Dilfer right here.
He
That's
had
what Turkey's
he had
for.
a, he had a line which like the Sunday NFL countdown crew, like, what the hell did he say? Anyway, look it up.
What? How?
Like, he goes,
I said you can't. Like,
If you lose, you're not
false
winning.
losses aren't wins. Wins are wins.
Trent Dilfer had a line where he goes,
No.
you
False.
no,
No.
look it up.
No, refuse. Because it's not relevant. The thing I said made sense. It was a great clip. You ruined it.
I'm just saying.
How about you learn how to do this for real, Mo?
I'm just saying.
How about you learn how to do this for real?
Trent Dilfer said, if
What
you're
did he say?
losing, you're not winning football games.
Yeah. Is that not right?
But the way he said it, I was like, what the hell did he say that? All right.
Well, did you not understand what I said?
I did understand what
There
you
we
said.
go.
Anyway,
It looks
Yes.
like you're trying to make a clip. Do you need help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of us does.
5 steps to make a clip. All right. Look, bless up. You know, Stephen Harper said,
I feel bad for Iggy. He's going to have to figure
I
this
know.
out.
He's guys. Oh my goodness. Okay, message
I
in the
feel
group.
like we butchered each of the
Guys.
clips. Yeah.
Guys, you went a minute. Yeah, you guys went like a minute 20 on this clip here. You know, like.
We had an argument in the middle of a clip.
Oh my goodness. All right. Like Stephen Harper.
Henry, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Henry. We're not a bunch of idiots here. We're a bunch of
Disagree.
gas baggers. Like Hariprasad made the jump up to Division One as we got back from COVID.
Yeah.
He wanted to test himself and say he was, and he asked me how I did. I go, look, you're gonna get better from this, right? I think this is a stepping stone for Bless Up. That when they do make that jump up to Division One, it could be winter. If they get some guys in there that's gonna help this team, they're gonna be better. I just think that they've had some unlucky breaks going against them this year. And I think in the final 4 games, like if they beat Royan Lumiere, that puts them back in that conversation. But can they find that third win? Because right now, Star City has that tiebreaker over them at 2 wins. Can they find that third win? Could they come against Product Crashers? I'm not sure. KGB could be the team to watch out for that they can win that game. So I think they're not out of it, but I think they have to get better play from the team as a whole and not kind of lose your confidence early in football games. That's it.
4-minute clip.
That's it. Guys, like, oh my goodness, I know what you were saying, and you guys went off the script. And
Henry, we love you, man.
Yeah.
Make us look good.
He'll make us look good. You know what he made? You know what's funny? I'm gonna post it on Instagram stories tomorrow, Eagle, just for you tomorrow.
Post what?
You'll see tomorrow for you.
You mean me in the clip?
Yeah. But he put your headshot over my body, so it looks
Yeah,
like you got like
it was
a nice body going on.
It was a huge
I
improvement
do
in the
have a
face
nice body
department.
going on.
yeah, you do. You have a body for producing. That's what you do right there. You know.
I was going to say, Mo looked really good in that clip
I
for
did.
some reason.
All right.
Something changed.
It is now time for.
Games of the week.
I will say, I was at a softball game. I was watching. So like, I finished playing with Eagle, and then Eagle had to leave, and this girl who was talking to him said, "Oh, where'd Mark Wahlberg go?" So, just saying.
It's true.
Was she referring to you?
Yeah.
As Mark
Yes.
Wahlberg?
I actually get asked often.
Yeah.
Like ridiculously way too often.
You do look like
Donnie Wahlberg.
You do look like Mark Wahlberg with
He looks like
buffering.
Donnie Wahlberg, and you're Mark Wahlberg. There
Get
you
stuff
go.
on the joke, bro. Said you look like him buffering.
All right, let's get through this
Here
here.
we go.
Co-ed 2, Kiss My End Zone, Plenty of Fish.
K-Maz.
Same.
Never Too Late Team, Deep Balls.
Deep balls.
Can't pick it. Never too late. Team by 50.
Les Marchands de Vitesse, Easy Fun.
Marchand.
Easy fun.
Never Too Late Team, Street Runners.
Never too late.
Can't pick it. Never too late. Team by 50.
Block Party, Beeftons.
Block party.
I just realized I have 2 games this week. I hate this.
On 2 different days.
I know it's the worst. Give me Block Party.
Co-ed 3, We Love Big TDs, Pig 6.
Big Six.
Pick 6.
Catching W's, Free Agents.
Free agents. I'm going to go with you guys.
Free agents.
Dream Killers, Kamikaze.
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 Thunder Buddies, Les Schtroumpfs.
Buddies.
TV.
Drink Team, Michael Scott's
Drink
Tots.
Team.
MST.
Women's, all of them. Wolfpack, Wildcats.
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 Supernova, Les Petites Miettes.
LPM.
Supernova.
Blue Thunder, Red Nation.
Good game. Massive game for both teams. I'm going to go with Blue Thunder.
Blue Thunder as well.
And BIT, Sub-Zero.
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 All right. Division C, The Commission, Bible Study.
Sneaky good game. I'm going to go Bible study.
Bible study.
Air Force 1.2, Top Season.
Top season.
Top season.
Backyard Bullies, Never Overtime.
Backer Bullet Bullies.
Well, yeah, Backyard Bullies are too good for the division, so Backyard Bullies.
Trap Stars, Diamond Bougie.
Bougie.
Diamond Bougie.
Bible Study, Repeat Offenders.
Study.
Offenders.
Junkyard Dogs, All Madden.
Dogs.
Dogs.
The Infantry, Killer Rays.
Good game. This is a massive one.
Yeah.
Rays.
Infantry, but it'll be close.
And Hot Sauce Sports, Mengus.
Hot sauce.
Can't pick it. Hot Sauce Sports by 50.
Division E, Les Habitations BR. Not you two.
Not you two.
Not you two?
Did we ever figure out what their jerseys meant, by the way?
No idea.
Thatch. Pasta Arabiat, Timberwolves.
Pass the boys.
Arabiat.
Texas Chooches, Meat Lovers.
Meat lovers.
Meat lovers.
Hooday, Minky FT.
Mickey FT.
Same.
Ramfins, Trailer Park Boys.
Rampins.
Ramfins.
Division B, Poseidon's Kiss, Ambush.
Stein's Kiss.
Ambush.
Silent Ticklers, Beer Belly Brigade.
Ticklers.
Ticklers.
Beers and Brownies, Run It Once.
Run it once.
I was going to pick that as an upset too. Give me Run It Once.
Division D, Red Dragons, Les Petites Carottes.
LPC.
LPC.
Big Fat Bats, Primetime.
Fat Bats.
Fat Bats.
Big Dracos, Idaho Utapimps.
Idaho.
Idaho.
Riders of Rohan, No Regrets.
No regrets.
Riders.
Les Bleu Dry, Born in the 80s.
Blue Dry.
Blue Dry.
X-Men, Flagtastic.
X-Men.
X-Men.
Every Inch Counts, West Island Boys.
Every inch counts. I go every inch counts.
West Island Boys.
Bouncy Da Hunsick, Dilf Gang.
Hunsick.
Dilf Gang.
DNE, Glory Boys.
Glory boys are hot, man.
So you're picking them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Glory Boys.
Save the Turtles, Stallions.
Go Stallions.
Stallions.
And Division A, Royaume Luminaire, Bless Up.
Bless up.
Bless up. They got to win eventually.
Party Crashers, hashtag NR.
Crashers.
Crashers.
And the Jamesons, Braves.
Braves.
Jamesons.
Ooh.
That is our games of the week.
Okay, a reminder, we don't have Sunday games next 2 Sundays. St. Jean Baptiste. Happy St. Jean Baptiste to those who will be celebrating in Canada Day next week. So no Sunday games. And then we're back to Monday for weeks 8 and weeks 9 coming up. Check out your rosters. I'm not back. I'm not here this week, but Iggy will next week. Iggy will be here with you and Eagle. Get ready for that 4-hour
After I just saw what my week looks like, I'm not sure.
Get ready for that 4-hour extravaganza, man.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that. Magic words, please.
I forgot the thing I had to say. Good peace.
Good night, Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet.
Ooh, that's terrible.
See you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.